Guys, it's me again, Orc Slayer. Where we last left off, let's see. Checking. Well, where we last left off, Deku got a job. Well, the FIs have gotten a job. They've come up with the entire design for the whole brute shot, and he beat Bakugo a little bit. Went through that stupid thing that school had him do, and that's about it. And if I remember correctly, I said I give him like about a year or so. It's how long before he attempts to go into UA, so that means the 9 months is about to come up. So, that being said, yeah. Now, hang on a second. I gonna make something clear. I'm pretty sure that the Japanese do high school graduation ceremonies. I believe that is a thing, but I'm not entirely sure. I really haven't looked that up. I've been meaning to, but I sort of forgot to. Anyways, with the whole 9 months coming up, the AI, well, the FI are like talking about, should we increase our training regimen? Well, I think it would be a good idea, but we really shouldn't push ourselves or push the body too much. Alright, then what about the job? It's like, well, when UA starts, you probably won't be able to work at it for much longer. It's like, you got a point there, so, as they're starting to run it through their head. And Deku, for those of you, I said that they made enough. I'm pretty sure I said they made enough last video. It's been a few months since they started the job. But to make it clear is that Deku's been well, not Deku necessarily, but they've been taking on a lot of overtime. And by I mean a lot. And they've been trying to sign up for as much stuff as they could that wouldn't hamper their training or or school or anything along those lines, is how they're seeing it. That's why they've been able to afford it. Plus, they're not paying for anything. They've literally just saved up all their money. So, with that being said and such, and he's actually doing quite well. He's talking, they're talking with people at the factory, like, I think I called him, I forgot what I called the guy. I was listening to it earlier. I forgot his name. I know it was like Miwa, Dennis, and, not Chaco. Kano? Yeah. I just rewatched it. It's Chaka. I forgot. Yeah, Chaka, Miwa, and Dennis. He's talking with them more, as they like to just talk around when they're doing work. The AIs, or FIs, just like to keep quiet and listen, as they won't pitch in, but they're like, "What do you think, Deku?" And he's like, As it's like, yeah, I'm trying to get more hours and work more, but it takes so long to get here from my other job. It's like, what do you think, Deku? They're like, you could try to grab a little motorbike, like, or a bicycle. Like, how do you get here? Oh, well, we run. It's like, get a bike. Like, maybe not a bad idea. Thanks for your input. He's like, no problem. As every night he finishes and goes to walk home, never really encountering any trouble aside from that one night. It's very confusing to him because, well, after all the small fry must have started realizing that nobody walks alone at night anymore, or they literally don't go at nights since everything. So they've sort of migrated to other areas, you could say, where they will stalk around trying to find people. Deku's walking around one night And out of nowhere, he just gets jumped by 3 guys. He's like, what the? As Deku's looking around himself, they're like, now. Hand us all your money, and there's no trouble here. Delta's like, not analyzing. Two muggers in front of us and 1 in the back. How should we proceed about this? As they've slowed down their perception of time. They've slowed down their perception of time, which gives them a lot more time to speak and think. So as they start talking really, like, in mere seconds, it's been like 30 minutes for them, but for the people on the outside, it's been like 10 seconds. As Deku's moving his eyes around, so they're like, alright, he's weighing his odds. As then within, I wouldn't say 30 minutes inside the head of Deku, but more or less 10 minutes. Or like even 5, just to think of a way to properly run diagnostics and such, and weigh the odds of what would happen, how this should go down, and what happens if one of their quirks is powerful, yada yada yada. As then, alright, as he's like, Sigma, quickly rush forward, then quickly then punch the 2 in the throats, then trip them, causing them to fall on their faces. As then they do that, then it's like, Omega, then take a stance and prepare to fight the guy behind us. It's like, alright. As Deku, as the plan goes, proceed just as planned, like I said. He gets them in the throats, they're coughing, and then they're tripped and have their faces pretty much smashed into the ground. Deku then, the body then takes a stance like he's ready to throw down. And then the guy's like, whoa, wait. Sorry. He's like, whoa, man, let's not do anything drastic here. As Deku's looking at him, making sure, as then he lets off like a little shout that throws Deku away throws the body away. Like, it's like, that get ya? As Deku looks there standing tall. As then he's like, alright. As he takes in a deep breath, it's like, Theta, now! As then he puts a shield around the guy as he releases the sonic scream, but he just pretty much blows out his own eardrums because it's in a bubble around him. It's like Present Mike, but it's a lot less powerful, but when sound is trapped in an enclosed space, it's a lot worse. So as it like blasts his like eardrums and ruptures them, Deku then calls the police, telling him what happened. It's like, oh, alright, we'll have people over there in like 6 minutes. Wait there. As in 6 minutes later, the cops arrive. They see the dude's bleeding outside of his eardrums, and the other 2 are just face first in the ground. Deku's like, here they are. Can I go now? It's like, wait. You're gonna have to come with us to the station. You guys gotta fill out a form. He's like, I don't think there's enough room in your car. As then another cop car pulls up. He's like, oh, well, this will be fun. As he's like, shotgun, I guess. Well, actually, yeah, I think they do only have 1 person per cop car, I guess. So I guess Deku wouldn't need that extra ride. So it's like, alright, fine, shotgun. As he sits up front with the 3 perps in the back and the cop at his side, he's like, you know, when you gave us the call, weren't you the kid who stomped that like convenience store getting robbed again? Yeah. He's like, why were you out this late? He's like, oh, as Delta's like, oh, wait. Since Delta doesn't really need to lie, he says that he has a job in a factory over there. It's like, oh, that new factory that's been opened up, yeah. I've been working there for a little while. It helps keep my head clear. Like, I see what you mean. Anyways, you'll probably get chewed out. But then again, this guy used his quirk first. It's like, yeah. It's like, man, took on 3 guys. She's like, if you, because I can tell you're probably one of those people who are going to try for the hero exam. That doesn't pan out. Come work for the police department. We could use somebody like you. It's like, As they pull up to the station, it's like, we have you here again. As then he just starts filling out a form, filling out the details and what happened, and giving some people who could tell him that he actually works around there. As it's like, alright, and you use your quirk when what? When the guy blasted my chest with a thing of highly compressed sounds. It hurt my eardrums like heck, and it hurt my chest. As he's like, So, what was the thing you used? He's like, I made a shield around him that would enclose the sound bursting his eardrums. It's like, oh, that's cruel, kid, but it was a smart idea. I'll give you that. It's like, oh, you're free to go. It's like, thanks. Stay safe now, and if you want, we can have a cop drive you. He's like, I'm good. As in Delta, them all walk out of there. It's like, kid's so weird. He's like so monotone now. Like, well, he was one of the ones there at that shooting, man. It's like, that's been like over a month, like 6 months. I know some people get shell shocked and such, but he doesn't seem like the one to like be like that. From what I've heard about him, he was like always happy and cheery. No, but man, I think I heard he lost his girlfriend there. As I think it's been like, I forget how long it has been. Maybe like a year, maybe several months, like 6, maybe 7 months. Not entirely sure how I've kept up with that. But anyways, that's what people think. It's like, oh, poor kid. As then Deku and them just arrive back at home, Inko was worried, but he explains the situation. He's like, yes, make her feel safe and secure, that knowing that we're safe and secure. It's like, okay, well, see you, baby. As Deku goes to bed, he's like, again, we got a busy day tomorrow, so let's all just go to sleep early, alright? Is what Delta says. Like, alright. As they all start having dreams again about memories and such, but they're all just fragments about parts of them. Theta keeps on remembering the childhood and how and how sometimes they were actually used to be best friends with Bakugo before he got his quirk. Sigma again just keeps on remembering his ambition every time he would feel more ambitious to become a hero, and Omega just keeps on reliving the things that make him angry. So yeah, that sucks. Which was quite a lot for Deku, actually. And Gamma, well, he just keeps on reliving the depressing stuff as well. So, with that being said, Deku in this sense, well, not Deku, but the FI in this sense, I'll say another few months have passed. Like 6. And this is like when Deku's walking, and he's going, and he took the day off today, because they're like, you've been working here for like 6 months straight. Have a break. You've been actually doing a lot of overtime, and here, it's a paid day off. He's like, thank you. No problem, kid. Now get out here. So, as he's walking under the bridge, wait, hang on. I've already had the sledge villain incident happen. I forgot about that. Well, that being said, Deku is walking, as then there's just a massive explosion. It's not the sludge villain this time, it's a group of villains robbing a bank. As then it's like, as they have someone hostage, like, hey, as Deku's looking at the scene, the police are like, get out of here. It's like, hey. As one of the robbers see this, there's 4 guys and 3 hostages. It's like, as they start pointing at guns at one of it's like, hey, you, behind the police, get over here. As the police are like, he's not going anywhere. Do it, or we shoot the hostages. As they're like, oh, sorry, kid, but you gotta get over there. Deku's like, Deku walks over there as they, grab him by the back of by like where the neck is, and they have a gun to his throat. It's like, now we are all gonna walk out of here, or this person gets it. As it's like, alright. As they like sort of get them a car, as one of them checks the vehicle, and it's like, no trackers. It's like, alright. Or it's like a van, not a car. As they load up. As Delta and them are like, why don't you just release the kids? Or the other people? You only need one. As it's like, got a point there. As before they leave, they're like, a quirk suppressant. As they put it into Deku's like, ugh. As he like falls to his knees for a second, he's like, oh. It's like, man, his quirk must be going almost on the entire time. Look at him, he basically dropped to his knees. As it's like, oh. As all the AI are like, oh, what is that? Oh. Omega and them are like, this doesn't feel right. Sigma's like, oh. And Delta's like, I think he hit us with a quirk suppressant. I thought those were illegal, except they weren't supposed to be touched, like handled by anyone but the police. As then they take him, put him in a car. As then when they get onto another part, and it's like they eventually get onto the highway. They have a bunch of money bags and suitcases with a bunch of money. As then Deku tries to get out of the situation, but one of the guys who has, I'll say, super strength is able to grab onto him as as they are like going all over the highway. Imagine the scene from Red vs. Blue when Agent May and Carolina were fighting two people. Deku's in that situation now, fighting just the one dude. But since he's so weakened, he's like not able to put up as much of a fight as you would say. As a guy has a strength enhancing quirk, as when Deku gets punched, he feels it, and when he throws a punch, it either misses, or because he's like so sluggish right now, not to the point it's the guy's not even like having trouble absorbing them, you could say. As then Deku eventually grabs something and stabs the dude right like in the armpit on the underarm. It's like, oh, as Deku really twists that thing in there. As he's like, well, not Deku laughs, but Omega's like, that serves you right. As a guy in a fit of rage punches Deku right in the face, he doesn't put it to the neck, to the head. He puts it to the throat and just unloads his entire magazine to that throat. As the police are like, oh my god, he just shot that kid in the throat like 10 times. As it's like, Delta, try to heal his wounds. He's like, I can't. We can't. The quirk suppressant is still active. I could easily heal this if we have, but the chances of us surviving this are like less than 10%. As the police are like yelling at the driver, pull over, as the car then speeds off. As it's like, you really just had to kill the hostage. He's like, bastard deserves it. He just stabbed me up through my arm. Ugh. Probably won't live through it though. So, as he's like holding onto his arm, not pulling out the knife, it's like, we gotta get this checked out. It's like, indeed we do. As they speed off, the truck eventually slows down as they immediately grab Deku and they're like, get him to a hospital. As they like pretty much put him in the back into like one of the, I'll say, a SWAT teams thing, like where they have all the SWAT team unload. They have a thing on the ground, and like two of the medics, quote unquote, are looking at his throat. He's like, dang it, this kid got shot so many times in the throat. It's gonna be a miracle if he survives. It's like, yeah, indeed. I can't tell from this, but he may live. Like, I don't know. Like, I've never had to deal with someone having bullets lodged in their neck. As they're just hearing, ugh. It's like the kid was dumb trying to bust out like that. It's like, and Omega and Delta wasn't. Omega and them were like pressuring Delta, trying to get them out of there because the people could just kill him. it would be illogical to attempt it. It's like, this is why I said we should have stayed with them. If we had stayed with them, we might not have been shot in the throat multiple times. Omega says it was a shot worth taking, it just didn't go the way. Truth, we should have probably jumped off the truck. Yes, but I saw us surviving that with a 50% chance of survival rate with all the oncoming traffic. And we might have damaged ourselves severely. It's like, oh, whatever you say. As Delta and them are still trying to... The quirk suppressant is really effective. As Deku and them arrive at the hospital, they put him on a gurney and they immediately rush him off to surgery. Check his neck, check his neck. As they're looking at his neck, it's going to require some severe surgery. As they're going all through it, they're like, excuse me a second. But as he's in the thing, they are saying how his vocal cords and larynx, or whatever it's referred to as, the vocal box, are torn beyond repair. Even if they had a healing quirk, this damage is permanent. Even if their best healer, Recovery Girl, like I said, was here, it's damaged beyond anything. So right now they're just focusing on getting the bullets out and trying to sew up his throat and trying to stop internal bleeding. So with Deku just lying there, where the body, the AI are like, dang it. If we had our ability, we could possibly repair this. As they're trying to speak, well, actually they've been put unconscious. Before they thought they were, but the AI are still able to see it. As Theta's like, what's happening? As when the hospital has its all thing said and done, Deku's put into emergency care. The AI late at night just come out of Deku's head and are in a circle speaking with one another so what's happened to us? As Delta goes and looks over that the forms, it says may have permanent vocal damage. What Theta's like, what does that mean? Sigma says it means we won't be able to talk. Omega's like, great. Gamma's like, nobody will hear my funny jokes anymore. Hey, Theta, knock knock. Who's there? You. Ah, doing the whole thing. And it's like, alright. Delta's like, maybe, no. What if we, no. Theta's, Delta's trying to think of a way for them to communicate, but he can't think of one. Then it hits him, wait. We can talk like this. Or, Omega or Sigma, Omega says, we cannot talk to anybody. What's the point in talking to people? Says, so we can communicate. Omega says, sounds overrated. It's like, you'll enjoy it soon enough, Omega. And Theta's like, yeah, but then we wouldn't be able to talk with any of our friends or our mom. And Omega's like, got a point there. And what friends? We have no friends. What about Dennis, Chaka, and Maui? He's like, they are exceptions. They are acquaintances, not friends. Theta's like, oh, alright. As when they're talking around this entire thing, they didn't notice this, but Inko was in the corner over there. As these three, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 of them, yeah. Gamma, Delta, Sigma, Theta, Omega. Sorry, 5 of them are talking. When the 5 of them are talking, Inko starts waking up. She's like, because they wanted to get rid of her, but they decide to make an exception. Because, well, Inko is his only living relative. So if something were to happen, she'd need to be there to take care of it right away. For instance, if they had to, say, oh, he needs donated blood. or something along those lines, and they had no type or whatever excuse you wish to have. Inko sees the five of them talking. It's like, Izuku, honey? As it's all in Izuku's voice, they're just different. Theta's like high-pitched, Delta's very monotone, Gamma's is just sounding like a robot, Omega's is very deep, and like I said, Sigma's, well, Omega, Delta, Sigma's is like an echo, sort of, like a fiery echo, like sort of thing. As he talks with them for a long, as they're all talking with each other, as Inko stands up, what are you? As they all see Inko, then they rush immediately back into Deku's head. It's like, Izuku, honey? As she shakes Deku, and there's no sound or anything. Deku's just sitting there with his eyes closed. They're like, that was close. That was really, really close. So, what do we do now? It's like, well, she saw us, so what do we do? Delta's running it through his head what to do. Omega says, we can't. Omega is like one of the few people he has a soft spot for, is Inko. So he tries to think of a way for this to work as well. Delta says her information is already known, so why don't we just tell her, is what Delta and Theta are thinking. Sigma agrees, and Gamma agrees. Omega is the only one who's really on the fence, because he doesn't know how she'll take it, hearing that, oh, your son's mind mentally broke, and then we were just created. As it's like, fine. As they come outside of Deku's head after talking for what would have been an hour for them, but for Inko it was like 10 minutes. Or like 10 or so minutes. Maybe shorter. Well, actually, yeah, they slowed down time quite a lot, and they took an hour to talk. As then they immediately came back out, and Inko's like, What are you doing to Izuku? As they explain, like, please calm down, Mrs. Midoriya. Hello. Why don't we start it off with introductions? Hello, I am Delta. Delta, what's up with Izuku? He's like, that is a long story. But before we begin, let us finish introductions. I am Delta. Logic. Or not saying what they are, and then it's like, I'm Theta, hello. And then Sigma appears, then Omega, then Gamma. It's like, what were you doing in my Izuku's head? It's like, this will be a shocker. Please, sit down. As Inko's like, what? As then they explain the situation. Izuku Midoriya had a breaking, you could say. After all the things that had happened in quick succession, from what we know, after Allison, Izuku's girlfriend, had passed, another traumatic experience came about that we do not entirely know. But after that, Izuku broke, you could say. And we appeared the next day. We only just recently became aware. And she's like, how long has he been like this? We've been around for about almost a year. It's like, so Izuku's been gone? It's like, we do not know if he is gone necessarily. We think we are each individual part to them. But it feels like there's something missing. Something unknown. We know who you are, and we know who some of the others are. But a lot of Deku's past is unknown to us. We don't know who his father is. We do not know when he met Allison. We only know that he knew her. We're good friends. We know that he was friends with Bakugo from a young age. We know much stuff, but quite a lot is still unknown to us, unfortunately. She's like, wait, so why are you trying to become heroes? It's like, we do not know. It is what Sigma has been saying and talking about. As Sigma comes rushing forward, saying that Izuku Midoriya, our father, quote unquote, sorry, as he explains that inside we each represent a part of Deku's mind. As each of them come up, as Delta says, I thought it would be best to humanize us in our eyes. It's like, but that would be lying, is it not? Delta's like, logical. As then he comes and stands in front of Inko. I am Delta. I am logic. And then Theta says, I'm Deku's happiness and trust. Omega comes forward. I am rage. I am ambition. And Gamma comes up. I am deceit. And she's like, wait, deceit? I get the other ones, but why deceit? I'm the part that Deku lied to himself about subconsciously. Every encouraging word about becoming a hero, you and Allison never told him. That's just what I am. And it's like, okay. Wait, is there like anyone else in there? It's like, not that we know of. And we are sorry that Izuku turned out like this. She's like, no, it's fine. So wait, does that technically make you my grandsons? What are you technically? We call ourselves FI, Fractured Intelligence. So I hope nothing changes between us. She's like, it's just give me a moment. As she sits down, as Seiya's like, oh, we're sorry that we didn't tell you earlier. It's just that Delta thought you may have taken it the wrong way. She's like, taken the wrong way? As she tries to get up in arms, Theta like runs away like all scared like a child. Like when the flash of anger came over her, Theta ran and like hid behind a plant. As it's like, I'm sorry. It's like, as Theta comes back over, it's okay, we understand. Like, to be fair, I'm kind of scared. As Theta says that, I don't know why we're here. I just appeared and we've just been doing whatever to just get by and to become heroes. I don't know why. Delta like comes over being like the big brother's like, it's okay, Theta. We will soon find out and achieve the goal of becoming heroes. Once we enter UA, it will be a straight path from there. They're like, okay, Delta, yes. Now, forgive us, Miss Midoriya, but we must all return back to Izuku and rest. The quirks as present had done a bit of damage on us and tired us out. Good night. As they all bow their heads and return to Deku's head, she's like, that was weird. As she rests her head down and goes back to sleep. And that is where I'll be ending this one off. I hope you all have enjoyed this. Hope you all continue to enjoy this. And I hope you all have a nice day, nice night, nice life.